You wake up unemployed every day as a real estate agent. So you got to go out there and find it. So you learn the hard way, and reality sinks in. AI is the level of playing field for technology, resources. It actually allows you to do the things that were way too expensive to achieve before. Rather than spending, a couple $1 million on developing a new app or a program, it can be done for a fraction of the cost, pennies on the dollar.
This is The Profitable Broker. Hi, I'm Wayne Einhorn, and welcome to The Profitable Broker, where we engage with people who are really moving the needle in the real estate industry. And today I'm so excited because we've got a gentleman here who is really moving the needle in the real estate business. I want to welcome Arshad Rashed from Century 21 Bravo in Calgary, Alberta. Welcome, Arshad.
Thanks for having me, Wayne.
Now, Arshad he's one of the top brokers in Calgary in the country, frankly. He's rounding out around 250 agents in his brokerage, growing every year. He's got a very, very active recruiting and retention program, one of the top trainers, a sought-after broker. And so, Arshad, I'm so excited to have you here to share with us some of the things that make you so successful.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
And what's interesting too, or exciting, I should say, is Arshad. I've often said to Arshad that he, for me, is the next generation of real estate brokers. A lot of us suffer, Arshad, from what we call the white hair tsunami, and you don't have any white hair. You got lots of it, and it's all a dark color. So
Covered it over here. It's covered it.
That's really great. But let me ask this, just so people can get to know you a little bit better. What's your journey into real estate? How did you get into the real estate brokerage business?
Well, it was something I always wanted to do. Right out of high school, I was like, "Oh, real estate's where I want to be," but I never did because life, punches you in the face, and you just go with whatever direction that takes you. And so I ended up getting married. I had a bunch of businesses, always trying new businesses, trying new things, and at some point, I was not happy. So I think I was like 24, 25 years old. I was like, I'm going to do real estate. And I went and did it, dropped everything, and just jumped in with 2 feet. And when I got in, it was a reality check because, right prior to, I had a bunch of businesses. Some worked out well, some didn't. But then I had a, pretty comfortable job. And when I jumped in, it's just like, okay, there's no money. You wake up unemployed every day as a real estate agent. So you got to go out there and find it. So you learn the hard way, and reality sinks in. But I just kept pushing, and I was determined. And fast forward to what are we? I don't know, 14, 15 years later, and I'm here now. And so the journey has been incredible. But it's just, I think the journey for me is whatever I do, I dive in. I go deep, 100%. And then that opens opportunities.
That full bore. So that's amazing because for those of you who are listening who are not good at math, 25 plus 15 makes you 40. And
Great. So 14.
14.
I'll be 40 in September.
There you go. We don't want to get you out over your skis, Arshad. And so it's amazing, and you've had such great success. And how many agents? I said 250, but we have more than that. We have like 260.
We're at 260.
260.
It's hard a little bit, right? You gain some, you lose some. We're in an interesting time in the industry now, so people are either parking, retiring, so there's a little bit of that, but we hover around 260 at any given time.
Now, you talked about, having different businesses as a young fella before you got into real estate. And you've been one of the pioneers, frankly, in the Canadian industry at what I call ancillary business, one-stop shopping, right? Making sure the customer service. And so at Century 21 Bravo, you can offer customers mortgage services. You can offer customers property management services. You have a very, very active and successful property management group. Tell us about some of the reasons that you do that, and anything else that you're offering customers sort of on a one-stop shopping basis.
Well, it all started when I took over the brokerage. I'm looking at the overall business, and I think at the time we were managing 8 properties, and we were only managing 8 properties because we were just doing a favor for our agents, but we weren't doing it properly. So I looked at it, I was like, it was a nightmare for accounting. The processes were not the greatest. So I was like, okay, either we drop property management altogether or we find a system and do it properly. And then as I looked into it, I was like, okay, ancillary services is something that, you heard was happening in the States a little long before Canada adopted it. But I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, these two complementary services go hand in hand. And I'd like the people that are coming to our brokerage using our agents, there's already a brand, a trust factor there. Why let them go outside to a third party where you don't know what the service is going to be like? So, you know what? Let's bring it in house and service our clients to the kind of service they're already accustomed to. So we brought it in, we expanded it, and it grew fairly reasonably. So I was like, okay, this is a good model. And then I was like, well, then I kind of like, well, there's a circle of life here. If we're doing that, why are our clients going to third parties for mortgages? So we brought in mortgages, and the whole concept is the circle of life. Bring them in the system. They know and trust you. Keep them in the system and service them the way that they're accustomed to. So that's kind of what we've done, and that's the concept that I keep pushing forward. And there's more opportunity for ancillary, and just keep it all in house.
That's fantastic. And let me ask this now. You got into real estate, you were 25, you're obviously an entrepreneur at heart. At what point did you decide to get into leadership? Did you decide, hey, I want to own a company. I want to lead a business here?
I didn't. I feel like faith brought me there and destiny took me there. So basically, in 2016, I was the top producing agent and I was doing pretty good. I was busy. So what I did is I think it was like 5 or 6 agents, newer agents, and I mentored them. And I just did that on my own without the it being a brokerage program or the broker asking for it. I just did that on my own. And they out of the 6, 3 or 4 of them became superstars. So Graham Wilson, the broker owner at the time, he's like, you know what, you did good with those guys. I think you got a knack for it. Can you help me manage? And this I think was about 2018. I was like, no, I turned it down. I'm like, I'm super busy. There's no way I can. He eventually convinced me, so I helped him manage for a couple years, and then he one day is like, it's time for me to retire. You should take over the brokerage. So that's where it kind of started. And I turned him down. I was like, no, no, no. I was ready to help you manage. I don't want to run a brokerage. It was essentially, when you look at the numbers, I was like, it's a bit of a pay cut because I was doing so well on the real estate side. So then I looked at it and I thought long and hard internally. And I was like, okay, well, I do enjoy it. And what I do enjoy is the aha moments agents have. So I got in to say, with the mindset that if I do this, I'm going to do it based on the fact that I'll bring in tools, systems, and processes that I always wanted as an agent when I first started. Because I won't forget the first year. 2012 was a trying year. So I wanted to help other agents. So I decided to go ahead and do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome, Arshad. And that shines through today with what you do for your people, right? You've got coaching in house. You've got Sean and Chris that help you with that, and you've got a whole team focused on helping your agents become productive. It's one of the things I think that really differentiates you is your guys' commitment to agent success.
Absolutely. The processes that we put in place, it took a while, and the key is I haven't done it alone. There's a little bit of luck, and I also look for talent, and when you find that talent, you need to hone in and keep them. So I've got a great team that really helped me with that.
It's interesting too, Arshad. You are not only committed to helping your agents get more educated, you yourself are on a quest for knowledge, if you will. I know we have our 100 plus workshops every month. You're always there. You're if Arshad isn't there, if you're not there, people want to call up the authorities and find out if you're missing. But all kidding aside, you make such a great contribution. And of course, we got to spend some time together recently at the Broker Breakthrough too, our small group gathering of brokers. And let me ask this: what was your experience there? How did you? What was your biggest takeaway? Well, with us being able to spend time together in a small group.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you get to this stage, there's so many levers pulling at you at so many directions. You go to so many conferences and so many different webinars and training and education, but this one was different. That it was a smaller group. It was an intimate one-on-one, and it was jam-packed with information. And over time, you don't get as many when you come into the industry and you start something new, you get a lot of aha moments, like, oh, I never thought of that. But once you're in it for a while, everything becomes a little watered down. You're like, okay, yeah, I've heard that over and over. But I had so many aha moments, and it was the first time in a while where I've had a bunch of aha moments. I was like, okay, I'm going to take that back and implement it. And what's the key for me there was a couple of key elements that we took back where I didn't see come to fruition until actually 2 months ago, and that was a while back. So it took a little bit of time, but I learned the concept, I had the goal, and then it happened because you put the processes in motion, and then if when it comes together, you're like, oh wow, you look back and it was that moment, that aha moment that got me to this position, and yeah, so it was incredible, and the reason why it was incredible is the people that were there, they're in the same boat. You realize across North America, we all have the same problems, the same daily things that come at us. Everybody's in the same boat. Doesn't matter how big you get, it gets those issues become bigger. So it was probably one of the better events that I've attended.
If you're a broker owner, you really need to attend this event. As Arshad mentioned, it's a small event. We only have 12 spots. Click the link in the description to get more information and reserve your spot today. Back to kind of taking things and aha moments, you are always at the cutting edge. I know you've got some initiatives, and there's a lot of, let me just, I'm going to change mid sentence, Arshad. There's a lot of concern, conversation, kind of people confused, if you will. And I think that confusion drives a bit of fear about AI in our industry. And you've really taken a lead role in using AI to help serve your agents and serve your customers. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what are some things if you were coaching a broker today? What would you tell them to do, or how would you tell them to approach an AI strategy?
Well, it's there's a lot of trial and error. And there's so much information where there's so many tools out there where you can get drowned in what to use. The best tool is the one you're going to use. So find one that you're comfortable with, learn it, and just use it. But the biggest thing is you got to just try and see what works. Um, AI. So, for instance, YouTube. When YouTube came out, it was basically the leveling of the playing field for media. AI is the level of playing field for technology, resources. It actually allows you to do the things that were way too expensive to achieve before. Rather than spending, a couple $1 million on developing a new app or a program, it can be done for a fraction of the cost, pennies on the dollar. So it's given us the ability to explore. You've got concepts in your mind for systems, processes, or whatever you want to achieve. We'll put it into a program, and then you can build it out. It's just, I feel like it's leveled the playing field.
That's so well said, because it's interesting. It allows everybody to differentiate, to create what they want to create for their agents in technology, right? And as you said, it becomes so inexpensive and within reach. The term that comes to mind for me, Arshad, is democratization. It's the democratization of technology on a mass scale, where we used to have to sign up for applications and things that cost thousands of dollars a month and use their box. It was in their box. Now we can create our own box very, very inexpensively to serve our agents in a differentiated way.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of freedom, and you're not tied down to one system. You can quickly maneuver. There's a lot of opportunity there, and democratization is the actual word I was looking for. So
That's great. It's a great springboard to my next question, which is, we're recording this in August. We're probably be released by the time it's the end of Q3, which now we're into Q4. We're starting to plan for 2027. For everybody's benefit, what are you most, as everybody starts to plan, what would you tell people, or what are you most excited about for 2027 and beyond for us in the brokerage industry?
well, what I'm excited for is a couple of speaking to the AI. There's a few projects I'm working on, and what I'm excited for is bringing in our tech stack to a one-stop shop, just like the business model. Bring everything, hone everything in, because just like life, our tools and our technology, there's so many of them. There's so many different suppliers, and our agents are bouncing from one program to another just to make the whole business model work. And what I'm excited for is to bring it all into one place. You can still utilize all those other tools, but you don't have to jump around. So that's the technology side is what I'm excited for, and making it a little more streamlined. And what'll happen is when the agent is streamlined and all their entire business is organized, the client, the consumer gets a better experience.
That's awesome. And you've got some like branded, and maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag, Arshad. I'm not sure, but you've got some branded applications that you're developing. Can you share a couple of the names and what they do with us?
Well, they're I don't want to share too much because we're still like kind of fine tuning it.
I'm letting the cat out of the bag, Arshad. I apologize. We'll get on to the next question.
No, absolutely. But what I could say is it's going to change the game for how agents can meet the consumer.
Yeah.
And basically, our technology is going to meet the agent where their business is and meet the client where their life is. It'll just allow for some of the nuances and tedious work to just be taken off the desk of the agent, and allow the brokers to handle those things for them, where they can just be in front of the consumer and do what they do best, is serve the client.
Oh, that's awesome. You know what? You heard it here first, from Arshad. And we're going to, at the end, uh, give you an opportunity to have people learn how they can contact you so they can call you directly. I've got something now I want to do, Arshad, called the lightning round, and it really just gets gives people an opportunity to know you a little better. And before we do that, I mean, you're a family man. Joanne, your wife, helps in the business. She's a really great resource for the business. I know that I get to work with her from time to time, which is exciting. Tell us a bit about your family.
Well, we've been married since 2007. I got married at 21, and it was pretty young. We've kind of grown up together. We've tested everything together. We went through trials and tribulations together, and she's put up with my shenanigans all these times. And basically, everything I've done in business is because of her support in the background. Because I just do things, and sometimes I'll forget because I get excited and I run with things, and I'll tell her after, oh, we're doing this, and she's like, when were you planning to tell me? But she's been supportive. She's always got my back, and she runs the back end. She's the boss, to be honest. So I've completely submitted to the financial side and accounting side, to whatever she does is all good, because she has a good handle on it. And the the dynamic here in the brokerage, where I'm front facing and she's back end facing, it works out well for the staff, for the agents. So the family life is good. I've got a 15-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. They're both very different personalities, so it keeps us on our toes. My daughter's in high school and my son is still in elementary, but it keeps us on our toes. The family life is good because we're big on, you know, I'm teaching them things that I remember not learning in school. I learned, finances, taxes, how the world works, all of that on my own, trial and error, like everybody else. So I'm teaching them these things, and it's just like I want them to be prepared way better than I was, so they don't have to learn from their own mistakes; they can learn from mine.
Yeah, that's great, Arshad, and they're such smart kids. I One of the things I cherish about our relationship is from time to time you'll share conversations that you have with them, and it's amazes me. You're obviously doing a great job with that. I know. Just back to education for a sec, Arshad. I know you listen to podcasts, you read books. If what book should we all be reading right now?
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Probably have one here on the desk. The best one, the one that I think it was the Simon Sinek book, the About Your Why. That was one that really propelled me to do what I've done and keep me going in business. Because if you have a strong why, and that's an older book, a lot of people know about it, but that's one that really propelled me to continue to learn. And if you have a strong why, you'll just keep pushing, find the next best thing.
Yep, absolutely. Love it. What podcast should we be listening to?
Your podcast,
Well,
the
thank you.
and my podcast, the Bravo podcast. No, the best podcast, honestly, is the Stephen Bartlett's podcast, The Diary of a CEO.
Ah, there you go.
It
Diary of a
it has
Seaman.
content for everybody. Whether you're into politics, there's some content there. Whether you're into health, there's content there. And in business, there's content there. If you don't know Stephen Bartlett, what an incredible podcast he's built. I think he's at like 15 or 16 million subscribers. And he was on the UK's Shark Tank. So he's done well, but it's because he's so open-minded and he brings the best speakers on his show to you learn a lot.
I haven't listened to that one, but I'll certainly listen to that in the gym tomorrow, Arshad. Stephen Bartlett, The Diary of a CEO. Let me ask this question. What's the most important leadership lesson that you've ever learned?
Wow. There's the one that comes to mind is if you don't have a relationship with your people where you can fully understand what's going on in their mind, in their life, it will be hard to lead them. You have to know what makes them tick, what bogs them down, and when you can really have emotional intelligence and have the and really understand them, I think will make you a better leader. I really believe that's the biggest difference is to really understand certain personalities and why they do what they do. So when you understand that and you've got that emotional relationship, then you can lift them up, and then it doesn't become work. It's more of it's a mission.
That's
And
awesome, Arshad. You know, the word that comes to mind for me is empathy. That you have empathy, you know, and I would, you are you walk the walk on that one. That advice comes from the heart. That's amazing. You know, we often talk about successes. We started off talking about your success, phenomenal success, rather. But you know this, and I know this, Arshad, and that is nobody who has success. Everyone who's successful has failed their way to success. And so, what's your biggest failure that taught you a lesson?
investing in technology too quickly. Not when online leads were huge. We spent a lot of money on this program and then realized that that's not the answer. The answer is your people and the processes. So that was a big lesson. The that would be the biggest in the real estate side. That would be the biggest lesson because I think we spent a couple $100,000 on a lead system that just didn't work,
Yeah.
and that was a painful lesson.
It's interesting. I think our business, Arshad, that whole idea of the shiny object gets a lot of us. And so let's one last question, and then I'm going to close with a couple of things. You know, if that's the biggest, the failure that taught you a lesson, what advice would you give all of us, given that we were talking about AI, we're talking about technology? Out of that lesson, what advice or coaching would you give us all?
Look at everything. Go through the demos. Go through the information. Look at it, but be slow to pick one and put your money in it. But look at everything because you never know who has the next best thing. But take your time on spending the money.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest thing, and then test it out because there's whatever process or whatever system or tool you have. You got to look at where's the bottleneck going to be, and then we realize quickly where the bottleneck is when it comes to online leads, and there's no real answer until you've gone through it and you realize, okay, this doesn't work. For instance, on online leads, the bottleneck were the agents. Out of the 10 that we started off with, or 16, 6 immediately dropped off because I guess not for them, and then 10, there was only 2 that were actually successful because they were doing the work. So we learned where the bottlenecks are. So whatever you invest in, go through a process of testing it and then find where the bottleneck is because that's where it's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's great advice, Arshad. How do people get in touch with you? If people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? What's the best way?
You can look us up online. My email's arshad.rashed@century21.ca. I'm sure you'll have some information down there. Century 21 Bravo Realty, our website. You'll end up finding me. We've got a YouTube channel, Century 21 Bravo Realty, a YouTube channel that you can find us on there, and then all the social medias you'll be able to contact. If you message there, you'll find me.
Excellent. And just so everybody knows, and it's probably like you said, Arshad, in the description, but the proper spelling of your last name is Rashed. Yes.
Correct.
Yes, got it. So just so people know for your website and YouTube channel and so forth. Thanks for being such a great guest today. You have imparted such knowledge. You know, it's so exciting, Arshad, because you are the cutting edge of real estate. You're the next generation. You're where all of the hopes of the industry lie. Your demographic, and every time that I talk to you and other people in your demographic, I know that this industry is going to be super successful for many, many decades to come. So thanks for being on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me. I hope I can live up to the shoes of the old greats. But we're at a time in the industry where, yes, us younger guys need to really lift up the industry in a way where we can maintain what the future has in store, because everything's changing around us.
If today's episode resonated with you, hit subscribe or follow so you don't miss what's coming next. More stories, more lessons, and the unfiltered side of what it really takes to succeed in the market. I'm Wayne Einhorn, and this is The Profitable Broker. Real conversations about what it takes to run a successful brokerage. And we're just getting started. Let's go. This is The Profitable Broker.